So basically the officer says, hey, look, one of my prior agencies, we had discretion for misdemeanor warrants, right? We could arrest the person, or we could conduct like a field interview with that person and just say, you got a warrant, you know, you're gonna get arrested if you don't take care of it. Go ahead and go show up in court on Monday, whatever, and take care of it. They could do that and make a note about that called an FI and release, field interview and release that person. Now the officer works for a different agency that says, you know what, we don't have discretion, we have to make the arrest. You know, for example, you know, what if you had a person who had was a victim of a sexual assault, and they also had a misdemeanor bench warrant? Do you have to make that arrest in Nevada? Is it like, if you don't do it, are you going to potentially be charged with a crime? Well, the answer is not crystal clear, but here's the answer I think is the best piece of advice I have for you right now. So first of all, we know we have NRS, Nevada Revised Statute 171.178, which talks about, you know, when an arrest is made, you bring the person to a magistrate. It does not say anything, arrest must be made for an arrest warrant. And we also have legislative laws, laws passed by the legislature that say when certain arrests must be made in Nevada, particularly for domestic violence. The legislature has never said particularly, hey, you must arrest a person in your presence for an arrest warrant. So I know that the warrant itself seems to have some language on there about, hey, you know, to any peace officer that finds this person, you know, bring this person before the magistrate, right? So that language seems to be like, you know, a mandatory arrest, right? But let's think about a few things. Number one, that arrest warrant is not directed to any peace officer in particular. It's just law enforcement in general. It doesn't say, hey, Anthony Bandiero, you must arrest this person. So it's not specific to a person, and it is a general mandate that this person has a warrant. But I'm aware that many agencies in Nevada they give their officers discretion for these misdemeanors, right? Why? Because if you were to arrest everybody you encountered in Las Vegas, for example, with the misdemeanor warrant, you're going to be going to jail multiple times, right? So those departments, they give them discretion. Now, the other thing I know that I have never heard once, and I'm from Nevada, and I was a cop in Nevada, and I teach in Nevada constantly, I've never heard of an officer being in trouble for using discretion in a bench warrant case, a misdemeanor arrest warrant case. Never heard it. Now, they would get in trouble if the agency is like, hey, you must arrest. I guess if this agency is like, well, Anthony's saying there's discretion and there's no mandatory arrest, but that's not how we do business. Obviously, you have to listen to your agency.